Is leave granted?
We'll be very conciliatory this morning, Mr. Speaker.
Leave is granted. Member for Newtown.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker, and the 50,000 people are thankful to the other side for giving us the opportunity that live in the electorate of Newtown to give us an opportunity to be able to speak on this important matter. I'd like to thank the member for Strathfield for raising this motion, and I'd like to speak particularly to some of the concerns that we have been raising consistently in this place when it comes to urban growth, to Parramatta Road and to the dreaded West Connects. Because I think that you can't look at West Connects because it goes down Parramatta Road without looking at urban growth and the integration between those. And I think integration to me is one of the words that is really missing when we look at this government's approach to transport infrastructure, to housing infrastructure and to community infrastructure in this state of New South Wales, and particularly in the inner city and inner west of Sydney. What we see is a failure to integrate. What we see, and I recall being at a meeting at the Petersham Bowling Club with standing room only, hundreds of residents gathered, very concerned, Mr. Assistant Speaker, at the fact that what they had from the West Connects Delivery Authority, what they had from urban growth at that point, were some bold sort of highlighted parts on a map. Some parts on a map that actually covered areas that were their parts, their open spaces, their houses, and somehow from these very vague maps they were supposed to have some idea of how to engage in a consultation process where they were unclear whether or not that meant that they would lose their open space, they would lose their parks, or they would lose different amenities in the area. But integration is also important. It's very important because people will be open to a conversation about housing density if you can provide them with the assurance that, along with that discussion around housing density, that you are taking an integrated approach to transport. You're recognising the need for more investment in public education, in public hospitals, in community services and public services while you are providing that density. And unfortunately, consistently when we have seen plans come out from urban growth is we get these nice glossy brochures, we get these vision statements, but then what we get in addition to that is maps where we see this is where the density is going to go. We don't see the maps of where will the new high school go. We don't see where are the maps where the new school will go. We don't see where is the commitment to ensure that this overdevelopment will not impact on people's open space and green space. And I think what we also don't see is a recognition of the fact that the more density you're going to put into an area, the more open space you need to have in that area. And I think, Mr. Assistant Speaker, it's very important to recognise that the Sage Petersham Park Community Group organised meetings. They organised a public meeting in the park where they brought together hundreds of people to make submissions to the urban growth process. 420 submissions, I believe, were made on that day in the park, and I was pleased to be able to join them on that day, to be able to raise a whole lot of concerns around the failure of integration between the different elements of housing, infrastructure, transport, planning and the dreaded West Connects, but also to raise questions about where is the genuine open consultation that is going on. And I think that, you know, while we've seen a reopening and engagement of urban growth with the community in more recent times, I think that it is very, very understandable that the community that lives along Parramatta Road is very concerned about where this government is headed when it comes to urban growth and urban renewal. I hope that they will prove us wrong, but I think in past cases I will see that that has not been the case, and the Petersham community stands concerned and thanks the member for introducing this motion, which we will support.
I thank the member for